Yes, I know the impact, especially with young people. That I do know that because, I mean, I can point to little things I've done in my films in a not well seen film. I mean, it did $1 million at the box office, which in '96 was a lot, but it's called The Big One.
Right.
And oh, thank you. It's a really, I really love this film, but it's Miramax put it out. In fact, I think you can still see it on Netflix or whatever. But I was in Portland on a book tour, and I was on a radio show, and Phil Knight's executive assistant or whatever calls into the show and says, Phil would like you to come out, and he'd like to meet you. And I'm like, is this like a prank? No, it's real. And I said, well, can I bring a camera crew? And he said, sure. And I didn't have a crew with me, but as you all know, even in 1996, there was something called like 1-800 crew, or whatever it was called. And I picked up a crew within an hour in Portland. And on the way there, I stopped at a travel agency and I bought a couple of tickets. And I went there and I said to him, you know, you make these shoes in Indonesia. Have you ever been to your factories? And he said, no, I've never seen my shoe factories. I said, you've got to be kidding me. Are you aware that there are 12-year-olds, you know, working in your factories? And he says, they're not 12, they're 14. And it's like, anyway, so I whipped out 2 first-class tickets to Jakarta for he and I to go. And so there's a whole thing in the film, and he doesn't go eventually. But when the movie came out, he announced that he was raising the age to 18 and that children would not be working in his shoe factories, and he was going to go and visit his shoe factories. It's a little thing, you know, it's like, so in Indonesia, this documentary stopped child labor for one particular company, but you know, I thought that's the way I thought back then. Now with this film, you've seen it. They haven't seen it. I'm in a different spot. Plus, I think when you do hit 60, I think at least when I did, it's that cliche of life is short isn't a cliche. It's like, right, this is like, hopefully I'm in the final third now of my life, and I don't have time to wait and to have one company change one shoe policy at a time. You know, I want this changed. I want this now. I want that same sort of energy that you know, in one moment it was illegal to marry someone you loved of the same gender, and then in the next minute it was just like the law of the land. I want more of that. I want us believing that we can make the impossible happen, because I've seen us do it. I've seen us do it as Americans. We elected a black guy with his middle name being Hussein during a war against a guy named Hussein, and the American public was able to put whatever thing they had with that aside. I think a lot of people had to put some of their own personal racism aside to do what was best for the country. And I thought, wow, if Americans can actually put their personal racism aside to do what's actually better for the overall for the country, then maybe there's some hope. So I'm kind of a weird optimist in that way, that I think that things can get better, and if we all do our parts, and you know, I do mine with this. So.
I think you are.
Thank you.